everyone. Lots of big stories happening today, and well, here's the biggest one, I think, that didn't happen yesterday. Warren Kinsella on Friday was teasing this. He said, quote, "I always encourage people to read the Toronto Sun, naturally, but they might also want to read the Globe and Mail tomorrow too. My spidey sense is tingling." Now, Mr. Kinsella has reliably predicted other liberal scandals, and, well, a lot of people got excited about this. And then, well, not so excited, as the Globe and Mail didn't get released until later in the day, yesterday, and their main article was not in it. So here's Warren responding to, "I woke up at 5 a.m. and scanned my Globe app. I tore open the physical paper like a kid at Christmas." And Warren says, "Ditto, they sure gave everyone the impression they knew something." Here's a YouTube video that is linked. "Maybe they're saving it for debate day, which would be super mean, but oddly fitting." And then he says, 23 hours later, "Don't ask me. I was up all night waiting for the paper to hit the front door." And Patrick was asking, "Is this going to take long?" And here's Orwell rolling in his grave saying, "If there is a story, the Globe, like the New York Times would have given Trudeau advance notice of it. If there was a story, Trudeau would have taken legal action to shut it down. If the Globe wants this out, they should pass it on to the New York Times, which, as foreign press, he can't shut down." There's a link to that. And I'll just link to this document. You can read it rather than providing all of the other links, or providing the links the way I usually do. The rest of the links will be provided in the description as usual. Okay, here's Warren as well. And when the paper didn't materialize, the question was, "So what happened? Was expecting a big story this morning?" And Warren says, "Ask the Globe." And here's some cats waiting patiently for the Globe. "We're still waiting for the Globe and Mail to arrive." And here's the kind of end of this thread. And Warren says, "An injunction can't prevent an entire newspaper from publishing, but it can stop the newspaper from publishing an individual article." And here's in response to, "The Liberals have a court injunction on the Globe and Mail to stop Trudeau's #MeToo story from dropping. That's why you can't find a Globe and Mail anywhere today." That's yesterday, Saturday. So that's quite interesting, isn't it? And so that's a big story, and the rumor mill is rampant of stories about why Trudeau left West Point Grey Academy in 2001. I've heard all sorts of speculation. I'm not going to go into the speculation. You can find it on Twitter. And if there's interest, I'll do a speculation roundup, I guess, on Twitter and show you guys what people are saying. It's really interesting. And, well, considering the circumstances that Trudeau left midway through the term, some things don't quite match up. So I wonder if there's a story. I wonder if it's been killed. If it's been killed, I wonder if it'll see the light of day before election. If it doesn't see the light of day before election, will it ever? I don't know. Who knows? The meat of this story was going to be memes today, and they've written an article. The Toronto Star wrote an article saying why political memes, which are virtually unregulated, matter to this federal election. I like that they note that memes are virtually unregulated. Weird thing to note. So this meme is a meme because it's a picture, it's a political image with words, etc. And this is a picture of Maxime Bernier walking through the Antifa protests during the Dave Rubin event the other week. And the image says, "Here's a picture that media will never let you see, and all other party leaders are cowards. This is Max Balls with Mad Max standing in the face of international terrorist organization and hate group Antifa. Vote for a true leader and a real party. Canada's last hope, the People's Party of Canada. Vote PPC on election day." And it's a Facebook post that's been clipped, right? Here's another example of a meme, and this is two images side by side, screenshots from phones, and it's got, on the one side, it says Michelle Zillow, and that's published July 8th, is circled in red, and Flip is written across the newsprint on the bottom, and the title says, "Scheer says a conservative government would continue campaign for UN Security Council seat." So that's from July 8th. And then here's another article from CJ News and from October 5th. That's circled at the top. The Canadian Jewish News, CJN News, right? Okay. And it says, "Tory government won't prioritize Security Council seat. Scheer. Flop" is written in red across Scheer's face in the Conservative Party banner there. So that's a political meme as well, right? And those two things are largely unregulated. You don't have to pay a placement cost for people to show them or share them. They're easily clippable, easily pastable, easily shareable. And that's the point. And that's what makes a meme, and they are powerful. And I talk about it all the time, how much it's a window into what the electorate's thinking. Now, places like Reddit are worse than they used to be because they're shaped now. People, moderators, and other board owners, etc., take out posts they don't like. You can see what posts are removed on Reddit through other various services, right? So Reddit is not as accurate a reflection of what the electorate is thinking, but the memes are like graffiti used to be, right? When there was no internet and you couldn't actually share something that easily, you'd have to clip your things out of the newspaper and send it to people in the mail. Like, did you see this? Can you believe this? Right? Very different now. It's very, very fast, but there's no placement cost, right? And back in the day, the placement cost for graffiti was some wall and some paint, or whatever you wanted to write on there. And they're not exactly analogous, but it's the same kind of window that you would get into what people are thinking. So, and maybe the newspaper clipping is a better one, but I didn't experience that very much. My in-laws lived in the United Kingdom, so politics weren't interesting to them. So my parents never did that. Anyway, regardless, political memes do matter, and I don't think they should be regulated. And the only real mention of regulation is in the headline. So, I mean, I think that's kind of weird. Anyway, here we go. They pop up on your Facebook and Twitter. They can go viral in a matter of moments. They've become more powerful than traditional political advertising, and they're basically outside the realm of Elections Canada. Take, for instance, how they saturated the discourse last month. Within moments of news breaking that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau wore blackface in 2001, thousands of visual jokes surfaced online. That speaks to how often partisan memes are created, said Fenwick McKelvey, a Concordia University communications professor who studies algorithmic media and political campaign management software. Hold on a second. Is calling the Prime Minister out for wearing blackface partisan now? Is that really true? Really? You can't do that? You can't say that's not okay? That's not across party lines? Not everybody agrees on that? That's just hardcore right-wing people who say the Prime Minister can't do that? Okay, the Star. Right. Back to this. He's launched a new project called the Great Canadian Encyclopedia of Political Memes. I can't wait to see how slanted this one is. Like, really. My goodness. Back to this. It will analyze the most popular memes, map how far and how fast they circulate, and discuss how people differ and what kinds of memes they produce, modify, and share this election. I can't wait to hear what they think of people from Alberta and the memes they share. Because, it's not really clear in the newsprint now what other people, or what the supposed, the elitist class thinks of Alberta. It's really funny. And this is just another way to shame people. Like, oh, this group of people likes this kind of meme, and this group of people likes this kind of meme. It's another way to carve us up and classify us by whatever random thing they want to assign. It's frustrating. Okay, back to the article. Just because it's so easy to predict where it's going to go, because they're doing it already. Like, they're using everything they can to back up their ridiculous claims, but they're ridiculous claims. Okay, back to the article. Even more crucial, McKelvey said, is determining how party supporters and citizens use the internet to identify with parties, leaders, and movements. Political memes are purposeful visual framing of a position and are generally inside jokes that can trigger an emotional response. They work best if shared widely. They're cheap, free to make, and easy to create or alter. They spread rapidly, and it takes just clicks to share, or a click to share. Now that it's election time, politicians and citizens are seeking ways into viral social media conversations on subjects such as the environment or immigration. And more than the news, memes are a dominant way people are engaging with politics, McKelvey explained. Okay, I have to point out as well, sometimes people say the left can't meme, and really it's people in the establishment can't meme. And the reason for that is the establishment can't satirically make fun of itself well, because the things that you're supposed to poke fun at to be funny are things that you're not really allowed to point out. And if you are paid by Corporation X to make a meme, Corporation X isn't going to want to take a bath on that. You know what I mean? They're not going to want to be made fun of unless they're sacrificing a pawn. We've seen some strategies this way where they do that. They accept being made fun of in a certain way to gain more widely shared memes. But by and large, you can spot a manufactured meme a mile away. The Conservative Party Twitter feed is full of them, and they're they're doing a strategy called throw everything at the wall because something will stick. And yeah, it sticks, a couple hundred tweets here, a couple thousand tweets there, but these are manufactured memes, and they're professional, they're polished, they look really good. They don't speak to people. There's no inside joke. They're pushing a narrative, and that's the difference. And so the left can't meme. The establishment can't meme. And so when people parody a Ferris Bueller's Day Off clip or a Family Guy clip or something that a whole lot of people know and identify with, and they get what the character is saying, and then you plug in Justin Trudeau and it's hilarious, or you plug in Andrew Scheer and it's hilarious. That's memeing, and corporations, people who are memeing for corporations don't always get that and can't always do it, not effectively. And so you see Twitter feeds full of memes with, supporters who tweet it out and go, yeah, that'll get them. Sometimes you go viral, sometimes you don't. And most times with something you don't expect, you go viral. And things that you do expect to go viral for, you're like, oh, nobody liked that. Or a couple of people like that. A couple of people got it. So, and I mean, that's true of a whole lot of things, from songs to YouTube videos. Anything creative is like that. Sometimes you don't even realize what you're creating until after it's done and how either great or awful it is. So memes are interesting things. And I mean, just the two off the top, right? Like, which one conveys more information, right? Like there's a whole lot in both, and both are emotional. Anyway, interesting stuff, right? Back to this. Quote, "This is part of how we develop partisan attachments and how we come to identify our worldview," he said. "Meme culture changes the bar, but also raises authenticity, which is what most campaigns are thinking is an important part of the way people evaluate politics." McElvery's initial research following the Trudeau blackface scandal found that party supporters made memes to help their party's public image. Shocking, right? Yeah. Conservative anti-Trudeau memes highlighted Trudeau's hypocrisy, questioned his character, and characterized Liberal Party calls of racism as disingenuous. Liberal pro-Trudeau memes minimized the incident and jabbed at Conservative leader Andrew Scheer as the real threat. Leftist memes focused on the social issue of racism in Canada and the skin tone of NDP leader Jagmeet Singh, rather than targeting specific images of Trudeau. McElvery identified about 30 Facebook groups posting Canadian political memes, with the largest, most active sample being anti-Trudeau and conservative memes. These groups have a much larger follower count, at roughly 900,000 people. And while all social media groups that consistently share memes care about different issues, climate change on the left and center versus political corruption on the center and right, the Trudeau scandal touched all sides of the spectrum. I mean, yeah, right? Meanwhile, politicians themselves are using the latest online strategy to infuriate or persuade voters. For instance, a meme posted on Conservative Party candidate Heather Lung's page prompted comedian Rick Mercer to publicly ask the party to stop using his face. That seems political too. It's a meme. It's a meme. Excuse me. Your face is in the public sector. I'll show you some memes of me. I respectfully asked them to stop using my face. No, forget it. I like Wallace and Gromit. They're funny. Anyway, back to the article. Politicians have to play social media game to reach their constituents, according to Sung Ha Hong, a Simon Fraser University communications professor specializing in digital culture and technology, and it's effective. They feel like they have to use the memes to tap into a genre of communication and language that is only effective when it is simplified or adversarial, he explained. But there is an increasingly strategic and coordinated element to creating and sharing political memes. Memes can be crafted by small interest groups online with the sole intent of trying to get politicians to use them, Hong said. Their origins are virtually impossible to trace on the dark corners of the internet, such as 4chan, and the images aren't often linked to a single source that can be verified. And it's even harder to determine if special interest groups have paid people to create them. So once a politician shares a meme, even if they disavow or retract, they end up amplifying the message with controversial undertones, Hong explained. Duff Konachar, election law expert and co-founder of Democracy Now!, likens the way memes are shared online today with clipping an editorial from a newspaper to share with friends in the pre-internet days. This, he says, is why memes aren't advertisements, just sharing someone's opinion with a friend. There are constraints in Canada on third-party advertising to limit what parties and politicians are allowed to do when campaigning, but there's a murky area when it comes to memes. Third-party advertisers, either a group or individual, must register with Elections Canada if they spend $500 or more on advertising related to the election and report where their money comes from and goes, according to Election Canada media spokesperson. Since Bill C-76 came into effect in June, third parties are also subject to spending limits, and platforms such as Facebook are required to keep a public registry of the ads. During an election campaign, these registered third parties can spend just over $510,000. But those restrictions do not apply to viral social media content. For it to be an ad, there has to be a placement cost, or organization has to pay for it to enter people's feeds. It's interesting how they conflated the third-party advertisers with memes. Memes are created by like regular people, which is what I was talking about. And yes, memes are created by corporations too, but if they have to pay money to place them, then it's an ad. So it's really clear. It's very easy to discern which is which. Back to this. If it's a meme that someone's posting on their Facebook or Twitter that they pulled off the internet, didn't create it and share it, there's no cost. That's not a regulated third-party activity, the spokesperson said. And there are a few things that are specifically spelled out as being off limits, including in social media space, according to Elections Canada documents on election security. There is no one simple solution that eliminates cyber and informational threats to democracy while maintaining freedom of expression, the documents state. Those threats are complex and reach beyond the realm of Elections Canada. So, interesting stuff. Interesting stuff, right? And really, parody is where memes generally fall, and it is covered under Canadian copyright law. So, fair dealings, right? Fair dealings. You can use copyright material in things for parody, and memes are generally parody. So, very interesting stuff going on in our democracy day in and day out in this election. Thanks for watching, everybody. And wow, I'm watching for this story to drop if it drops. Like a cat looking out a window at a bird. Whew. Can't wait. I'm heading to the Run for the Cure, so maybe I'll see you there, and have a wonderful morning. Don't forget to vote. Our voting day is October 21st. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.